we're just going to roll with it today. So that is coming up. Meanwhile, all right. So spiritual abilities, that is the meditation, and it's not 40 minutes today. It's actually 29 minutes, 43 seconds, 29 minutes, some seconds, something like that. And then afterwards, we discuss. And oh my goodness, I'm really feeling and hoping that we discuss. Jane, Jerry, glad you're here. Chanel has a cold. So if you can send some loving energy to Chanel, we will really, 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 really appreciate that. So she's staying off because she doesn't want to cough, and she doesn't want anybody to think she got COVID. Don't you like try to hold your cough? If you're in the business meeting, like, I ain't gonna cough. They ain't gonna think I got the COVID. Go ahead and cough. Just tell them. They can't catch it anyway, because it'll be virtually catching. All right. And the way we set up this program in general as a minor, as a reminder, repetition builds belief. Classes, free. Don't have to worry about it. It's me showing my love to you. Courses, we go a little bit deeper on the topic. Coaching, that's like one-on-one certification. You want to go out and teach. We haven't started that yet. Okay, that will come out closer to the third quarter in terms of the courses, coaching, and certification. I mean, we just got started on this new whole format and everything. Just need a minute. Just need a little time. All right. If there's anybody new to the group, I would love to know that you're here. We would love to know your spiritual background. Like, you consider yourself Christian, you consider yourself just spiritual, you consider yourself atheist, whatever it is, or you're new and you just started looking around spirituality. Why today? Anybody new? I didn't think so. Yay, we all have friends coming back. Okay. For anyone who is here today, can you, if you feel comfortable, tell us what you would like to cover today in forgiveness? It could be something you want to know, it could be something you want to work on, it could be something that you want to teach. Any thoughts on today's topic and forgiveness? All right, well, I can't fail them. I ain't managing. When you're that open, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So this is normally what I put in to get it so I can start recording. But I know now I've already started. So there we go. Casey, if you can do me a favor, just take track of any questions that pop up in the chat. And then we can just rock and roll from there.
Yeah, sure. I'll help.
Thank you. And I'm just going to assume from the beeps that you got it and letting those people in.
Yeah, I'm letting them in.
Nice. All right. Keep track. Let me know when I get to 40 minutes in. So from a topic standpoint, we're going to look at who to forgive, define forgiveness, when to forgive, why forgiveness is needed, and how to forgive. So let's jump right into it. These three areas I wanted to discuss. All right. I wanted to have a little slide animation, but obviously I am not perfect. Or it wouldn't have shown up and gave you all the answers as it is. Bad me. Okay. Forgiving others. All right. Before we jump into this, I guess maybe we talk about what is forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Does forgiveness mean that you forget what was done as well? So everyone has their own definition of forgiveness. All right. If you're coming from a Christian background, we are taught, because I was Christian growing up, we were taught, how many times do you love your enemy? It's like 70 times 7. Like, that's a lot of times, Jesus. Really? I got to forgive my crazy cousin that many times? I was going to give him maybe 2.5. Maybe. You may have your own definition. Like, if I forgive someone, then I'm excusing them for the behavior that they had. Okay? It's not my definition. I'll tell you what my definition is of forgiveness. And you have your own. And then when we get to the end, when it comes to discussion, feel free to share with us your definition of forgiveness. Mine is simply forgiveness is the understanding that humans make mistakes, and I'm no longer letting that mistake hold on to me. I'm letting it go. That's my definition of forgiveness. And nothing more, nothing less than that. So now we got that out of the way. Let's jump in and let's talk about some techniques around that, as well as your definition of forgiveness. Anger management. Maybe you want to forgive somebody, but you realize in some way it's you that's jacked up, that you get hot easily. Like, what? Did she not put salt on the chicken the way I wanted it? What's wrong with her? Right? It's all you. It's something about you. So if somebody does something that upsets you, that really gets and pulls at your core, that pushes your button, what I suggest that you do, if you find this yourself in this situation a lot, and it's something you can work through big time when we do the meditation, is to ask, what was their purpose? Whoever made you mad, whoever it was, what was their purpose? Did they intend to hurt me, or did they accidentally hurt me? That makes a big, big difference on whether or not somebody intended to hurt you or hurt you on purpose. And when you realize, okay, wait, this person intended to hurt me, well, that's a whole nother level that somebody accidentally hurt you. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're driving a car, and when you're driving the car, somebody swirls over on you, and you get hot, and you're like, I can't believe they just swirled over on me. And what do? We drive up to them, and we look over at them, because you got to figure out, what does a jerk look like? You just got to. In every country, they look over. It's not like you got heat vision or special powers. The power of me compels you. You ain't got nothing. But you just want to look over and say, yeah, that's what a jerk would look like. And you go on, hopefully. Not like talking about the mama and all that stuff. But when you go through that, you can also ask yourself, have you ever done the same? Whatever you're upset and mad about somebody doing to you, have you ever done the same? I know there's been plenty of times that I looked, blind spot, nobody's there, I went over. I just know it. So how am I going to get hot and heated and mad and not forgive somebody for doing the same thing that I have done more than once, but never on purpose? Okay. So if you find that anger management is your issue, ask yourself, one, what was their purpose? Did this person on purpose try to hurt me? More than likely, the answer is going to be no. Because if you're walking around and a lot of people are intentionally trying to hurt you, then that's another session. How to get better friends session. How to get in a better environment session. But if you realize they're not doing it on purpose, that might soften you up a little and pause your reaction and cause you to think for a moment. And then if you need some more, just ask yourself, have I ever done this to anyone? And if you have, I'm sure you may have forgiven yourself. So it might make it easier to forgive other people. Okay. Now, the next one, repeat offenses. This is when somebody did you wrong. They did you wrong again. Then they did you wrong again. You know how many times this person is going to keep messing up? Okay. In this particular case, you want to ask, is it a character flaw or a character trait? If it's a character trait, then that means they go about things a certain way, and you may go about it differently. Like I told this person 1,000 times not to leave the toilet seat up. But that's done it. Does it? I hate you now because of that toilet seat. Tired of my butt getting wet. Is it a character flaw, right? Or is it a character trait? Character trait could very well be someone has a different way of driving home, right? Or someone looks at situations differently than you at first. For instance, I once read a book long time ago, and that book was called The Positive Power of Negative Thinking. The Positive Power of Negative Thinking. What happened with this is the person thought that because they thought negative about situations, that it allowed them to, making Casey a co-host again, that it allowed them to see all the things that possibly could go wrong and prepare for it in advance. So you may be with a partner, you may be with a friend, and that person habitually looks at the negative before they look at the positive, and that drives you crazy. Okay? Well, that might very well be a character trait and not a character flaw. That means you just need to understand them better. Understand everybody in the world is not going to be the same. And that if you have a partner of any type, especially love, especially friendship, especially co-workers, colleagues, that person is in your life in order to help balance you. It's not yin and yang. Hey, how's your yin and yang going? No, it's yin and yang. So you need a little bit of yang to your yin to balance you out. I am wild. I am crazy. I am the people person. My wife, she ain't going to hurt you. But she's not going to run over, try to talk to you. Hey, how you doing? How's your day? And blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I feel like I'm the girl in the relationship. I'm the one that wants to go out like that. But when you have that balance, that yin and yang, then that person's character traits helps to balance you out. Okay? So think about that for repeat offenses. And if it's neither or, if it's one, the character flaw, well, they have to want to change that. And you either accept that this is a deal breaker and I need to change my phone number, or you say this is a deal breaker and they need to change their behavior. Okay? And there, in the meditation we're doing today, there is a cord cutting. All of us have cords that connects us together. It's like an invisible cord you can't see. But you talk to anyone who had a near-death experience and come back, they talk about seeing this like almost like an umbilical cord that's connected to all the people in all the world. So if I do something positive, it's something light shoots out and it eventually goes around the world. If I do something negative and wrong, that comes out and goes around the world. It helps with the overall world balance. Smile at somebody. You see that smile go over again and again. I spoke to someone who had a near-death experience, and when he died, he was able to see that everybody that he hurt or insulted, he saw the ripple effect that it caused. And to him, that was like hell. And then he also had a period where he saw all the love and good he had done and the ripple effect that did. And he was like, man, that was like heaven. So there is a way for you to cut another cord, which is more of a direct relationship. You can't cut the overall universal cord that connects us all together. But there is a different one that connects me to Maddie, that connects me to Joan, that connects me to Divya, to me to Shubham. And if you want to end a relationship, especially during Mercury retrograde, which is where we are right now at the time of this, this is an excellent time during Mercury retrograde to review past relationships and end those that's not for the highest and greatest good of all. Basically, the people that tick you off. Now's a great time to get rid of their butts. That's basically what I'm saying. So all you have to do is close your eyes, bring that person's energy in front of you by calling out to them. If you see them with your eyes closed, or you just feel, yep, they showed up. All you have to do is say, I forgive you for all the transgressions you have done to me. Hope you forgive me for all the transgressions I have done to you. and I send you away in love and peace. And then you imagine that scissors cuts it or a knife cuts that cord. And then what I was taught to do was to, in my mind's eye, to stand and have this blue flame come up that burns away any of the excess stuff. And within 2 weeks' time, you notice a different feeling in you and a different feeling in the other person. But don't be doing that all rash. You got to really want to be rid of this person, because you can't cut it and then be like, oh, baby, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can rough. Anybody got any Scotch tape? Once it's done, it's kind of done. You have to create that relationship over again. Okay. Long-term resentment. So there's 3 different phases that I look at with long-term resentment. Come on, it's one thing, we know it, right? You got to know that having this inside of you is like a cancer that eats you up. When you have that anger, when you have that lack of forgiveness, and that's for somebody else, and especially true for you. It's almost like it multiplies. It multiplies when it's you. So the first thing is you have to know why you should forgive. You have to know why. I will never forget this lady I met in a place called Barberton. It was it was the first time I ever spoke, and it was a willpower event. And I was talking, and the lady asked me a question about something I said, and her question just totally knocked me off. She said, "Excuse me, sir, why should I forgive my neighbor if she's been talking bad about me?" It was just a clear question, just throwing it out at me. Forgiving someone is not about you excusing their behavior. Forgiving someone means I recognize that what you did was jacked up, but I also recognize that if I keep thinking on this and don't just let it go and move on, it's going to continue to hurt me. It's not a one-time hurt. It's an ongoing hurt. Every time you think about it, it's just like it happened 5 seconds ago. Just like if anyone did any act of kindness and you think about it, it's like they just did it to you 5 seconds ago. So you may already know that forgiveness is good. There might be some people who even didn't show up today for this session like, forgiveness? I know we should forgive everybody. This can't be interesting. It's one thing to know it. There's another thing to do it. So you may know I just need to go ahead and forgive them. But come on, we'll keep it real. You and I both know there's times where you and me, I ain't gonna forget his ass. No, not at all. But I know I should. Oh, God, forgive him. But you're still mad. And if you see him, especially today, because it's snowing big time outside my house, take a snowball and you throw it at him and then just duck out the way. So here are the 3 levels of how you actually forgive somebody. First, you got to know it. You got to want to. You got to give yourself permission to forgive. But there's a difference between knowing it and accepting it. Accepting it is when you give yourself permission. So know it. I need to forgive somebody. Okay. I forgive them. I acknowledge and give myself permission to forgive this person. You just go into meditation while you're doing it. It's powerful. You don't have to. But I find that when you go into meditation, the deeper you go into meditation, the deeper the seed you're planting in your spirit, and the more it manifests in our reality, in our present world. Thoughts become things when you're in a deeper state and you have something visionary that you use. So knowing it, you say, I know I need to forgive. You acknowledge that. And then accepting it, you say, I give myself permission to forgive. You're really talking to your higher self about that. And then living it comes next. You don't find that you focus on it as much because maybe you have a replacement thought that you do. Every time I think of my hate for this person, I'm going to think of this, and that distracts you. Now, I'm also going to tell you an exercise you can do around this and forgiving others. and I use it quite often. What you do, and you can use it today when we go into meditation. So don't get too carried away with the words that I say. But there is a point in the meditation where I talk about love and using love. And at that point, you can do this exercise. I close my eyes, I'm in meditation. And in meditation, I am thinking about someone that I love very much. And I bring them in front of me. Just like I was calling that hater in front of me, I'm bringing the person I love in front of me. And I'm letting the love that I have for them and the light just shine and glow and just sparkle. It may be like fireworks up in there, okay? Then what I do is I move them to the side, and then I bring in the energy of the person I ain't feeling. And then I'm looking at that person, and I doubt it's anywhere as bright as that person that I love. And once I have them there, I bring the person that I love back over at the same time to be in front of them, to engross them, to be one. So now the person that I love is one with the same energy that I did not love. And I allow the love for the person I love to grow bigger and bigger and brighter and shine and feel it directly coming from my heart. The pure love overtakes what I'm upset with, what I'm mad about in that other person. And right when it's at this brightest, when I'm feeling the love that is echoing throughout my essence, I then slide the person I love away, and that other person is there bright. And I can make them brighter because they have been infected with love. The emotions, the feelings, the anger that I had for that person has been infected with love. And there is nothing in the universe more powerful than love. Nothing. So when you do that and you expand and you grow it, okay, then you can say, I forgive you. I forgive me. I hope that you forgive me. I hope that you forgive you. And I send you away with love and peace. Now that anchors that into your spirit. So instead of you just knowing that I should forgive them. Yeah, I forgive you. Just keeping it at that light surface. It's like you had a bunch of seeds and you just threw it on the ground and said, all right, I planted. Like what? Them birds gonna eat those seeds real quick. You better plant that sucker. And you better plant it deep. And you gotta water it. And you water it with love. Okay? Knowing it, accepting it, and then living it. Knowing it is saying, acknowledging, I need to forgive. Accepting it is saying to yourself, I give myself permission to forgive. Anybody know about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming? That is an important piece of being able to change your emotions. And then the last one, living it. Being able to have it so you bring that image in front of you, so that you bring the person you love to mix in with the person you're upset with. That's going to allow you to live as if you forgive. Okay. Cool beans. Let's go. Other things. So I'm going to zoom past these, but feel free to use the chat to ask me anything different. I went through everybody who signed up today, and I looked at what topics you wanted to talk about. And if anything didn't fall into what I was already talking about, I slid it over here. Okay. So I'm just going to go through, and feel free to throw it in the chat, or when we get to the discussion part, you can ask me more specifically. All right. Don't do your best and beat yourself up. So there's a lot of people, like one of my sisters had a job interview, and she's just phenomenal. Okay. She just is phenomenal. I knew it back when she was in college that she was just going to be awesome. And she had an interview. Sure, she did well, but she didn't do well by her standards. So now it's been days after, and she's beating herself down. All right. When she really needs to beat herself up. You can use that as motivation to go to the next level. So when you have regret, that's really what it is. Like, oh, I don't regret nothing. Well, if you do something and you look back on your performance and you're your own negative Nancy, you're damn right you got regret. You call it whatever you want to. It's still regret. And that regret festers in you. And it will have an impact on you in one or two ways, physically or mentally. You have a whole life full of regrets like that, that constantly every day you're second guessing what you did in a negative way, beating yourself down, where you feel bad at the end of it. And that like, woohoo, I got room to improve. It's the difference between someone growing younger and someone growing older. Is the woohoo. Ain't nobody growing older like woohoo. And it comes from how you treat yourself. Manifesting love. That's another thing about forgiveness. You can't be a hater and unforgiving of your ex and expect you're going to give some more. Because to the universe, you're saying, I hate men. I hate women. I hate anybody with two eyes. You have got to look back and forgive if you want to manifest new love, for real. We can't say, oh, the past is the past. I hate him. I wouldn't pee on him to put his fire out. I wouldn't. Can't be like that. Just got to forget. The new love won't come your way. The other thing, past lives, karmas, and soulmates. Kevin, I think you may have brought this up. I'm unsure. I know somebody did. They wanted me to talk about karma from the last time. So I just weaved it into this one too. So here's what's up. I had a thought this past week, and I don't know. I think it may be kind of true. I don't know if y'all ready for it though. All right, I'm gonna tell it anyway. Oh, Fresh Shoe just lost his second. So to give her a second for her audio to come on, I'm gonna skip the past lives, karma, and soulmates, twins, those type of things, twin flames, and I'm gonna get straight to seeing auras and karma. If you have that gift of being able to see like light things outlining around people, you should take a look and start measuring the mood that person's in. You may be able to have the ability to see their emotional body. If you have more than just one body in your being, you may be able to even see the karmic debt that somebody has, so that you're able to pick out those people you don't want to be around because you just see it off of them. One of the readings I had from past life regression, and I use this to parlay into it. Jesus, when he prayed, the disciples would gather around him in a cave, and as he was praying, an aura will come off of him and like shower onto the disciples. So they were gathered around real tight because they were uplifted by being around him. So when you forgive people, when you have that aura of forgiveness, just like, the stories of people in India who, one guru, I can't remember his name, but he didn't kill anything. He wouldn't kill a fly. He wouldn't kill an ant. He wouldn't kill anything. Because he was that way, he was in the jungle and came upon a tiger, a fierce tiger, another time a bear. And neither one of them attacked him because he had so much love in him. Now, I'll tell you about crazy me. This past week, there was a fly in my house, and I can't stand no flies. I get flashback to North Carolina, Seaboard, North Carolina, where my family was from. I just can't stand flies. And it was so easy to fly. This fly, it was in my office. I was like, man, I can't kill something up in here. So I turned off all the lights, closed the windows, and kind of opened the door and like tried to shush the fly out so I can then open up my door to get to the back garage. Successfully got the fly out. And then I opened up the garage door, turned off all the lights, and then I was trying to shush the fly on. If the fly wouldn't go. So I took my shoe. It was my wife's shoe. Don't y'all tell her. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. It was my wife's shoe. It was the inside portion. And I tried to trap the fly so that I could put my hand on it. I'm like, yeah, this is smart. Once they go in, I'm going to put my hand over it. And then I'm going to walk the fly out. And I put the shoe over it. And then I lifted it up. I squished the damn fly to death. So ain't no oral gonna be coming off of me anytime soon when I'm pregnant. I'm just saying. All right, Rescue's back on now. I was trying to wait on Rescue for you to get back on before I went into this next part because I think
Thank
this is
you.
You're welcome. Because this is one of my favorite parts on this slide is talk about past lives. What I found out is if you hate somebody in this life, you can't stand them, they will be your relative in the next one. Think about it. You're forced to talk to your brother. You're forced to talk to your sister. You're forced to be around your uncle and your aunts for a long period of time. So if you are struggling to get along with somebody in one life, guess what? It's more than likely, if you have some unresolved issues, you're going to see them again. And when that hit me, I was just like, oh, wow. I could just think of so many people in my family or in my wife's family that I'm like, wow, if I had a choice, they wouldn't be in my family. But they are. And because of that, it caused me to be around them more times than I would. Some are so deep that I would never be rid of them. So whatever issues I have with them, it sets the stage for me to be able to resolve it. So when I bump into people now and I have unresolved issues, which I see more opportunities the older I get, I don't mind that speaking with them again, but I try to make sure I forgive them and that I also do my best to get any forgiveness from them that's needed. Now, I'm not saying that everybody you hate with your mama in the last life or something else, but I am saying everything happens for a reason. That person even chose to have that role in your life, or you both chose for them to have that role in your life, or the universe said, we need to put these people together in some way where they won't run away quickly. It's something to think about. If you got somebody that there was an issue and you had an opportunity to resolve, not that they were hurting you or anything like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm leaning more towards they get on my nerves. They're always negative. They always got something bad to say about me. Nothing good about me comes out of their mouth. I'm leaning more towards that. If somebody's abusing you or hurting you, run quick as possible. All right. So take that in context. All right. Karmas. Soulmates. When it comes to this area, I'm leaning more towards love and the manifesting of love. There are no strangers on this planet. There's just not. We all know each other. People in China, we know them too. It's like past life after past life. Like right now, February is Black History Month. And every time that I speak to anybody at Black History Month, I always say, first of all, I believe in reincarnation. So I'm Black this time. Next time is your turn. I know I'm a fool. But maybe I'm right. So when it comes to soulmates, it may be some people that you have a spark, you have a connection, but that's because they were your wife, they were your husband, they were your boyfriend, right? In another life. And whatever you had to learn from that experience, you learn. So you have to do an assessment because like, oh, this person's just my soulmate. Well, you know what? Reality and fantasy are two different things. If somebody ain't helping you pay the bills, it's a whole lot easier to be sexy all the time than somebody who's helping you pay the bills or helping you wipe the snotty nose kids, somebody who experiences what happens after you come out of the bathroom. So somebody new coming along doesn't necessarily mean they're your soulmate. It could be that you have past life interactions. And it's myself recognizing yourself. So always ask your higher self, what type of relationship is best in this lifetime. And soulmates can be friends too. You have a really great friend that's from the same soul family, but you certainly got to forgive them. And if they are considered a soulmate, they're probably in your life in some way. Like one of your worst enemies could be part of your soulmate crew who agreed to play that role in order for you to grow, in order for you to experience. Somebody was like, hero, okay, she's the hero. Supporting love interest, got the love interest. Bama ass hater. Do we have any Bama ass haters around? Nobody? Nobody? BFF, can you be the Bama ass hater this time around? Sure, I get you. So when I get upset with people, I try to talk myself into a belief like maybe this is a really great soul friend that decided to help me out, do me a solid by playing the role of Bama ass hater. It's possible. Okay, now we get to the hard part. I did not weed this out at all. Okay, we're going to jump to here. I don't know if this is a big deal. Reshi, do you guys find out about Rumpelstiltskin in India? Did they talk about that? No. I figured that. All right. Cool. Thank you. So I want to tell this story to refresh the memory. The Grimm brothers were very spiritual. The Grimm brothers, they had like the most horrible stories. Any of the Grimm brothers stories that we saw from Disney, trust me, it was a watered down version. When you read the true Grimm brothers, so this story is called Rumpelstiltskin. And to give you background on what happened with Rumpelstiltskin, okay? There was this father, and this father was bragging with the king. Oh, king, oh, I'm just so important. I should be around you because guess what? My daughter can weave straw into gold. And the king was like, say what? Like, that's right, king. My daughter, okay, Lolo, she can weave straw into straight up gold. So the king was like, that. So the king had Lolo taken and put her in this room and said, look, Lolo, I'm going to kill you if in the morning you do not turn all the straw in here into gold. And like close the door and locked her in. So she's crying, of course, because she can't do nothing that her daddy bragged and said that she could do. Like crazy daddy. I don't even know why he said that. So in the middle of her crying, this little person just shows up and disappears and says, Lolo, I got you. I will turn all this straw into gold if you give me your necklace. I've been eyeballing it. I want me some. Give me that necklace. So she said, okay, gave him the necklace. And then he was true to his word. He turned everything to gold. King sees it in the morning, like, wow, that's wonderful. But the king gets even more greedy. So the king locks her in a bigger room with more straw and says, in the next morning, if you don't turn all this straw into gold, I'm going to kill you. She's like, what? I thought I was saved. Well, middle of the night, little person shows up again. This time he says, give me your ring. You give me your ring, and I turn all of this. So she does it. Next day, you think the king will be appeased? No. Greedy. Give him a little bit. He want a whole lot. So the next day, okay, what he does is he ends up saying, I'm locking you in this big old room, this huge room. But this time, instead of just killing you if you don't get it, if you do it, then I am going to do you the honor of marrying you and making you queen. This story is messed up on so many levels. Well, she don't have any more stuff. So the little person comes, and she's like, I don't have any more stuff. He says, okay, well, I'll tell you what. You give me your firstborn child, and I'll do it for you. She's thinking, Well, I don't have no babies coming anytime soon. So yes, whatever. And poof. Next day, King came. He was all elated. They got married. About a year later, she gets pregnant. She has a baby. And who shows up? The little person. And somehow, I don't know how she managed this, but somehow the little person decided, if you can guess my name, I give you 3 days. And if 3 days you can guess my name, then I am going to let you keep your little rug rat. You can keep it. Okay? And I'll move on. So she's queen. She sends out her minions all over everywhere to come up with names. And the first day, he said, you got it yet? And she said, what about so-and-so? And what about so-and-so? He was like, that's not it. And he left. So she's still sending people out. All right. Second day, came back. You got it? What about this? That's not it. So the third day, right before the third day, one of her guys were walking around and they heard him saying, I'm gonna get the queen, baby, and they won't even know because I'm Rumpelstiltskin. And the guy's like, oh. So he runs back and tells the queen. And then when Rumpelstiltskin shows up, he's like, so, queen, do you have my name? The queen was playing with him a little bit. No, is it Rumpelstiltskin? And he was hot. He was like, man, like, how did you figure that out? And he stomped his leg and went through the floor, and he basically split himself in half. She, of course, got to keep her baby. Rumpelstiltskin. That's a horrible, horrible story. But here's what's up. There's some learning lessons. And the first learning lesson in this is you have to name your demons. You have to name your demons. We all have demons in us. I know that if I don't help my clients to the point where I surpass their expectations, if they're not saying, this was the best training class, she had so much energy, I never got bored, I never got tired, then it bothers me. And that's my demon, is not meeting that high level. Somebody else saying good, yeah, whatever. I have my own standards that I'm looking at. But that's one of my demons. So I had to work on reminding myself, if Krishna, Jesus, and Buddha came riding into the room and said, willpower, Harris is the greatest, I said, like, yeah, whatever. I have to still talk to God on this. If I know that's in my nature, then that's a demon that I have to name. Because when you name it, two things happen. Number one, you receive power, understanding, sympathy, and love. You remind yourself, now I know I'm crazy about this. This is the best that could have happened out of this situation. And I need to forgive myself, not hate on myself, and let it go. If you hurt somebody's feelings, but you did intentionally hurt their feelings, you're just going about doing your thing, your business. And somebody got hurt and maybe they're upset because you hurt them, you're like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be a spiritual person and help people. Well, you didn't on purpose try to hurt them. It just happened. So all the advice that we gave on how to forgive other people applies when it comes to forgiving you. But you got to name your demon. You got to name it, because you can't change what you're not aware of. You can't change what you're not aware of. So if you're not calling it out, if you're not bringing out the awareness that you're a sucker and that people who get hurt by you inadvertently can use that to guilt you and make you not forgive yourself, and then in turn take more things from you, yeah, that has to change. And we all have that. Whatever is your self-identity, whatever you name after yourself, that is your weakness. So let me see, let me choose. Let's say my friend Jolty. Let's say Kings, right? So Jolty is the type of person who values that she always helps a friend. And then if I know that, then the demon that I'm playing off of is saying something to Jolty like, you're my friend. I would have thought you would have helped me. I can't believe it went so bad. All of a sudden, now she's hypnotized by her own self. So you have to name your demons. And then once you name them, Strip the power away from it. Start changing it. And that's what you can do today with our meditation. Identify that demon. The person that I said you can bring in front of you. Well, sometimes you got to bring yourself in front of you. You got to bring yourself in front of you. You got to bring that emotion you have, that demon that you named, personify it. You can make it an image of you. You can make it a cup. Doesn't matter what you make it. You can make it anything. And then bring that love, shine brightly upon it, pull it to the side. Everything we talked about today really comes down to three things. Knowing it, okay, accepting it, and living it. Rumpelstiltskin, them Grimm brothers, they were no joke. Every single one they do is always a spiritual lesson in it somewhere. Okay. Ooh. Beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself down. That's the whole premise around this and forgiving yourself. If you fall short of your expectations, I know you guys are overachievers. If you weren't, you wouldn't even be in this class that we're talking about now. So if you're going to beat yourself up, because there's a difference between beating yourself up and beating yourself down. If I give some advice to Parvin, I love Parvin. If I say, Parvin, I think that maybe you can do this a little bit better. Parvin knows I love her. So when she hears me giving her coaching or advice, she's thinking, wow, grateful, Will's bringing me up. But if Parvin thought that I didn't like her and was criticizing her just to make her feel bad about herself, well, why you do that? Just the word why. You never heard. Maddie never heard this growing up. Maddie, why is your room so clean? Why are you and your brothers and sisters getting along? Why are your grades so high? You automatically hear that word why and you think, It could be, why are you so wonderful? You're like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. God just made me that way. Yeah, just wonderful. But don't beat yourself up. If you fall short of your goal, like my sister, okay, just say, all right, now I know areas for me to change. So I'm going to think about that and I'm going to put some things in place in order for me to get better. And the next time I'm in this position, I'm going to do better. That's beating yourself up. It's not shoving you down and why did I do this? And I should have did that and shoulda, woulda, shoulda. Don't should on me and I won't should on you. Okay. Now I think I got everything out I was supposed to. And message to myself. Stop recording. Because one of my friends taught me that when I stop recording, makes it easier. So that first part would be just all the lesson. And now the next part, we're going into meditation. I can put that separately just by starting it again. Okay. So now you want to get ready for the meditation. It's 30 minutes, like I said. I put it in the meetup group, the link, and set it for an hour. So back at 9 o'clock, it should have been made public to everyone. I suggest you turn your video off, get in a comfortable position. I'm going to send out the link to it in the chat for you too as well. It is 35 minutes and 53 seconds. I will not have the sound on with this in order for you to be able to listen to it on your end. We basically go to YouTube, the video is there. You can watch it there. And let me actually put this in the link now for anybody and everybody. I'll put it right here. Peace. Everyone. So now, instead of you having to try to look at or remember these, you can just go directly into the chat and put it on. Okay. and it's on our YouTube channel, Will Being, too, as well. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to click on it to bring it up. From your heart. I listened to it about 3 times today. All right. Welcome. So I'm going to turn my screen off. Meditation. As well. Mute myself, and we'll all come back after it's over.
like You need to unmute.
Oh my God. I was saying so insightful things. Like it would have made you cry if you heard it. But oh well. Thank you for telling me to unmute. You know, I'm crazy. So I appreciate it. What I was saying, now that I unmute, thanks to my loving friend, whoever said stupid, unmute. I appreciate that. Next week is Love Weekend, February 14th, Valentine's Day. So we won't be having a session on that day, but 2 weeks from now, we will on February 21st. And it's going to be on the afterlife, after death, and before rebirth. Like last year, I came into some information that I thought was super cool. And I'm going to share it with you about after people pass away and then what happens right after. Is it like reviews, that, what else, blah, blah, blah. What are the different things that can happen? So that's what we're going to talk about there. And in addition, start recording on this computer now. And in addition, my ask of you is just one. We have a meetup page right here. And if you can go to the meetup page and put down your comments for today, right here, I'll love to love you. Because I want other people to get word of what we're doing. So the cost of admission today and every day, leave a comment. Even if it's like boo. Well, I know. Nobody's going to say boo. It's kind of like if you're in church and a little kid is singing, you know, about Jesus, even if they stink, you're not going to say boo, little kid, boo, because you go straight to hell like this. But if you can leave a comment, that would be super duper awesome. Now, with that, to give you some ideas, we will go around and let anyone who wants to speak and have the floor. You have questions, you have comments that you want to say, you can just unmute and go. Pope, glad you made it. Thank you. You take care. Jerry, I think I saw your hand go up.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That's a wonderful meditation, and the topic is dear to my heart. Some of the things that are very helpful to people is that, you control your thoughts. You have the choice of what you think about. And you're going to say, well, how do I get all these good, positive thoughts in my mind? Believe it or not, you have to train yourself. So, if you might want to start on a weekend, think about the 2 or 3 or 4 wonderful thoughts that bring love to your heart, that make you cry with joy, and start thinking about it. You don't have to think about it all day, but, just learn to grasp that thought when you're really in a terrible mood and replace the negative thought with this wonderful, happy, joyful thought. As example, I like walking on the beach with my grandchildren and my children. It brings a joy to my heart. Well, that's one of my favorite thoughts. Puts a smile on my face. So you have to train yourself. Choose in advance those wonderful thoughts you're going to use to replace those negative thoughts that are with you all day. Okay, I have one other thought. Let me see if I got it. I think that's enough for today. So that's a little bit about how you can do this. Replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And yeah, you're going to fail a lot of times, but the more you train yourself, you have an excellent ability to become a person of love and joy.
It's awesome. And, repetition builds belief.
Yes.
So
take off
keep saying it to yourself and you'll get it. So feel free, if you remember what it is, to hop back in and tell us too as well. Jane, did you have something you wanted to say before I open it up?
The meditation was just very beautiful. Terry and I were holding hands during the meditation and could feel the transfer of love through our hands. The center of your palm is actually the meridian that connects to your heart. So from heart to heart, it was very beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Parvin, how was it for you? Were you able to hear it today? You're on mute too, by the way. You're on mute. I can't hear you. So I remember last week, we tried going through the computer again versus having it on YouTube for everybody to be able to see.
I think I lost the habit on being on iPad. I'm usually on the computer. I'm pushing wrong buttons.
Mhm.
It was very powerful, and usually after your meditation, I'm so totally out of it. Very relaxed and wonderful. I feel wonderful. It was very nice. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Any thoughts? I had my niece join from India, Shreya. She's on. Who she is a baby spiritual guru in the making. Smartest young lady that I have met in a long, long time. So Shreya, welcome. And also Jerry, Shreya had a comment for you. I guess it was for James. James the one that brought it up. She had a question that she put in the chat for you. Anybody else? Any comments? Saul, Shanaz. Okay, I see your hand, Shanaz. I was in a
Okay,
different
thank you.
situation.
Well, I had a very special, first of all, it was amazing as usual. And I was trying so hard to send love inside and outside, you know. I was just the floating, you know, in love. And suddenly, if something strange happened, I felt a smell. The smell, oh my God, I know this smell. Where the smell came from. It was my grandmother's smell that I never, ever forget. My father's mother, and she passed away when I was 18. And that was the first heartbreaking for me that time because I didn't know any of these wonderful things. So she was there. She was here with me. And the love was flowing in and out, and I felt her.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was awesome. Awesome. I never had this experience.
Mhm.
I wanted so hard to do with, you know, everywhere, but today was the first day I felt the smell.
You know, what you put out is going to get attracted to you. So very few people are going to love you more than your grandmas. They're just going to love you. You're kicking out and pushing out all that positive energy and love into the universe. Yeah, it's no wonder that she came to you. It's great.
Yes.
Maddie, I see you raise your hand. You have a
Thank you.
comment.
Thank you.
It's interesting that she brought up the grandparents because I've been meditating with my grandpa's old Snuggie. Like he gave this to me when he was still living. And since I've been using this to lay across me while I meditate, I can feel more support. And during the meditation, you said feel the support of everyone around you. And that was similar to Mr. Nas. That's what I felt. I felt that hug that he would have given me if he were here. So I really appreciate that and thank you.
Wow, that is awesome. You know, I have a meditation blanket that I use when I meditate, and it's energetic. Like you can feel it, like with your hands coming in, feeling energy. So that Snuggie that you use has a lot of positivity and energy around it too. Very few people I have ever heard asked, why would the Romans guards try to get Jesus's cloth? You figure that somebody like him, that when you pray, that the energy that could be seen, the aura, that whatever you have on will make a difference. Or when he got touched in the middle of a crowd, it was like, bro, I might just zap my juice. So with your Snuggie, I think it's the same thing. It's just humans in general, that if you have somebody who is negative, then their stuff has negativity. That's why I don't mess around with flea markets. Buy somebody else's old energy. No, thank you. I know it's cheaper, but you can keep it. That's great, man. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Going once, going twice. Project. Because we're over our time, and I want to be respectful to everybody's time.
Hello.
Project, go for it. What you got?
Hello.
Oh, by the way, Project is the
sure is
author
that.
of the video. All Hail Project. Big up. Thank you. As always.
The thing I want to say is a very nice sweatshirt and like spiritual gangster. I saw it, fantastic. The second thing is because it's about forgiveness. It's very important that as a person we forgive ourselves first for anything that is going on in our head. Because if we are not capable of forgiving ourselves, it is likely that we won't be able to forgive someone else. So, sometimes you have done something, you may say, oh my God, I was a fool. I have been taken advantage of. And then you're not forgiving yourself, like something keeps screwing you. And when that happens, you are unable to forgive the person who did wrong to you. So, it comes to yourself first.
Exactly right. I saw some heads nodding too from you as you were going through. People nodded in agreement. Okay, anybody else? Rush you. Going once, going twice. If you want to hop in, just throw your hands up. Throw your hands in the air. Wave like you just don't get that. It's just a tiny hand. That's an itty bitty tiny hand.
It was really lovely, Will. I'm still like in that zone of meditation, so I'm not speaking because it's relaxed me a lot. Like it just put me completely into that calm zone. In between, I think I knocked off and I came back. So I did miss some of your instructions, but I was there. I was really enjoying it.
Well, I know that you're down with binaural beats, and that was theta. So that probably helped with knocking you out.
Hello, uncle. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Harry sir. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. That's Shreya. I can't see. Yeah,
yes,
it was.
Yes.
Go ahead,
meditation, I'm so relaxed and very, from heart, I was breathing from inside. And while but in the starting of meditation, I found myself out of the prison, but my hand was banned in some in something like that. I was not able to go out of. Even I am out of the prison, but I'm not able to go somewhere. But as soon as time passes, I was breathing and following your instruction. I find that I had a feather and some light is coming, and that light was something related to love. And when it come, then it opened my lock, and I with him flying, and I had a white feather, and he has a feather like a jute, and then we fly and then dip into a water. That was totally like it was something different. I don't know swimming, but there I was swimming and water was falling from there. I felt so good. And I'm not expressive.
So Shreya, the audio's getting a little jumbly now on you. So I'm gonna jump in for a quick second to see if you can maneuver to a place where your internet connection comes back in. Reshu, thank you for your comment. She's calling and joined us from Dubai, so it's a little later. And Shreya, my niece that I was telling you about, she's joining us from India, where sometimes The internet can be challenging as well. Treya, can you try talking again? The last thing I heard, like to bring you up to speed, she's not in prison, you guys. When she was meditating, it was the image. So it's not like my niece is in prison, but like, oh, we all got a jailbird niece. We all got at least one. She was talking about how she was in a prison and then she got lifted out of it, like the symbolism. And then the feather and then the broken. Okay, I think you're back. Try
Some
talking.
of the video would help with the sound.
Okay.
Because if it uses too much internet bandwidth, just talk without the video on.
Cool. Thanks, John. So Shreya Jones said turn off the video, which I think you got, and now try the audio. Let's see if we can hear it, because I want to hear what you have to say.
I need to speak again or what?
Just like the last minute of what you said and continue on with the flow. We can hear you clearly now.
Within a meditation, as time passes, I realize that now I'm free and flying with all the problem that I had. It was just passes with the time, and I'm relaxed. I was breathing from my eye. I was breathing whatever instruction was given by you. It was all happening. Even my pores were breathing at that time, and it was like I'm not here, and I feel my soul. It was really good, and I always try, and I always want to join your meditation. That was my experience. It was really good. Thank you for such a meditation and giving us a lesson of a life. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, I just want to say something.
And I have a one.
Okay, she came back. Don't call it a comeback. She's been here for years. What you got, Shreya? You want to say something else?
Yes. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. It was well said by Lewis B. Semendez, but I'm not getting its real meaning. May I repeat it again?
Yeah. Please.
To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you.
I love it. So Shreya said that she's not understanding that. Normally I would go to Chanel to answer, but I know she's sick today. So Maddie, you want to jump in on this? I think you know. If you don't know, it's fine. I can call somebody.
What was the question? I'm sorry. What
so she said that forgiveness is like when you forgive someone, it's like setting a prisoner free. Mm-hmm. And you may think that prisoner was the one you have to forgive, but the prisoner you're setting free is yourself.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Understanding.
So I think that is being upset and holding those emotions in your body impacts you, whether you realize it or not. And I think that releasing the hate and the negative feelings you have with that person, it impacts you more than it really impacts them. So you realize that you'll see a change in yourself maybe before you see a change in someone else. But that freeing feeling maybe is the release of your imprisonment as far as hatred or whatever negative feelings that you were having about that person.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. Hopefully, Shreya, that makes more sense to you. That forgiveness is really giving a gift to yourself. That a lot of people believe if you keep that forgiveness inside of you, it'll manifest either into a physical ailment or a mental ailment. That everything through your chakras is connected and ends up in one or two things. Show me the way a person died, and more than likely I can show you the way they lived. All right. Cool. Anybody else?
Yes, Mayor.
Absolutely. Shubham.
Yes.
What? All right. First of all, I'm surprised he's still awake. Second of all.
So that one, everyone knows about the Corona situation, COVID situation in the world, and everything is a pandemic now. And the topic is forgiveness, truly needed this time. And you know about my meditation and all these things. So when I started my meditation, after 15 minutes, I slept. Truly, I slept. And you know all about, but after a long, but after a long time, I did a meditation. So I feel very good now. So thank you so much. Feeling very relaxed.
Well,
yeah.
She was like, look, I work for you, but I don't listen to your stuff. I just don't. I encourage open honesty on my team. Ain't no yes people around me. He's like, but this one, the other way, but this one's kind of good. I only stuck halfway through, sir. Keep it up. Namaste. I love you, Shubu.
Also, I have something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what I'm going to tell you now is something grand, and it's like everyone will be thinking about it. So when I tell you that, it's like today in the evening I was meditating and I found out a few things. So one of those few things is when you think about the mind or its structure, what comes to your head at the beginning of it? Like when you think about your mind, the structure of it. Is it a container, a dorm room, a set of doors, or windows? What does it feel like, that mind?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about it and I was meditating. So I saw a very tiny light, particle of light, very tiny. It's like beyond the quantum. It's a subatomic particle, like kind of that. So this particle is free roaming in the universe and it's connecting with ideas. The ideas are not inside, but they are outside. And the mind is like a spider collecting all these ideas together, forming a web, you see. So when I was meditating over it, I also found out that when it collects out those ideas together, just like the spider can innovate on its web making, our mind innovates things. It takes over things and sometimes it also invents stuff. So when I was doing that, I found new ways of meditation. And I guess I'll just text you up with all those stuff that I've found out. You can talk about it in our next session.
I appreciate it. Okay. So I heard somebody coughing or sneezing in the background. God bless you if you're sneezing. And if you're coughing, I know you ain't got COVID, so you don't have to worry about that around me. All right. So we're going to bring this to an end. I love you all. I hope you watch the Super Bowl and you get some snacks and you do whatever rituals you want to. Valentine's Day. It's not just for lovers that romantic. It could be for deep love you have for friends. So if you ain't got nobody, remember you always got people. So you can always send out love and say Happy Valentine's Day. I just want you to know I love you. And here are the 3 reasons why. I mean, what message like that wouldn't cheer anybody up and spreading positivity? And then the week after, I'm excited to share some other good stuff. So remember, my promise or my request was, it's my sister Priya calling me. My request was for you to leave one comment on the meetup page. I would appreciate it because we want people, you have people that just float by, they're looking for love, they're looking for information, they're looking for a common group. If we start putting messages, then they know, okay, these people are about something over here, so let me keep them out. So with that, I'll say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.
Bye.
You smile.
Bye.
Bye.
All smiles and positive thoughts.
There you go.
Heal your brain, body, and mind.
Bye, everyone.